All right, guys, about 6 months ago, I actually did a video on the Laurier Neptune, but I believe it was a blue dial one. I could be wrong, but just going off from memory. And I suspect that a lot of people actually liked that watch because that video actually did pretty good for views. So I have another one in, and I know I try not to be repetitive when it comes to certain models, but I figured I would share my thoughts on it again, just in case you guys were wondering if anything changed. So here's the deal. This watch size, basically, if you have a smaller wrist, I don't know why you haven't tried this watch. I think this would be a really good diver style watch or diver watch for the smaller wristed folk. So, case size on this thing, 39 millimeter. Excellent, right? 48 lug to lug. Nice case shape, slightly turned down, drilled lugs. Excellent finishing on this. Brushing is very consistent. Nice high polished relief edge, and then the rest of it's brushed up top. There are some elements of polishing here and there. The bezel is a very, very fine coin edge bezel, polished, 120 click, polished, and also matching the bezel for the grip there. So we talked about 39, 48, lug to lug, or the lug width is 20 mil. Bracelet tapers down super nice down to a 16 mil. That's also going to be very critical when you have the smaller wrist. And this bracelet is all like super independently articulating, very short, shorter links. So it just flows really good. And the angular, the flat angles of all the surfaces reflect light like it's a piece of jewelry. I mean, you can see it there. It's just beautiful. And that center link articulates so it can lay flat on the case back, which is going to lend itself to being, yet again, even more comfortable on pretty much any wrist, certainly the smaller wristed guys. So thickness, there's two different measurements I want to focus on. If you could take the case back up to the top of the bezel, it's about 12 millimeter. But you can see this has like a super domed plexiglass crystal. Yes, plexiglass. So yeah, it's going to take some bangs and bumps and stuff like that, and it could get marked up. Or you could treat your watch with a little more care and not bang it around, and you'll be just fine. You could potentially clean it up a little bit with some poly watch if you needed to, but it really plays with the light. Fun. When you have this super dome plexi like this, you can see it just really gets into some weird distortions and everything. It kind of makes it fun. So I'll try to zoom in, but sometimes with that plexiglass, it gets a little tricky. But you can see a really nice gold brushed tone handset. All the lume is going to be BGW9, so it's going to have that super white looking in the light like this, and then it's going to have a really good, cool blue lume to it. You have a nice gold tone, almost like a gilded relief type dial, and you can see how thick that BGW9 is applied on there. Of course, it might be amplified a little bit from that Superdome. Really nice bezel insert there, looks to be ceramic. So pretty sterile case back. Actually very sterile. Let me zoom back out a little bit here, and let's talk about this bracelet again, because I love this bracelet. This is a total package watch. So you only have 2 micro adjusts there, but with the shorter links, you're going to be able to get it dialed in. Very clean and classic looking. Double pusher here for the clasp, also signed with their logo. Nice polished relief edge there. Flows really nice. Everything is just well executed. So at the price point of these, which I'll put a link in the description for their website, but they are sold out of these. So I know, yeah, right. Thanks, Rob. Appreciate it. Showing me another watch I can't get. They do pop up on the used market, both on, Facebook groups, Watch You Seek, other groups like that. Also eBay. I think I looked up on eBay real quick. I think there's like 4 or 5 of them listed at varying prices. New, when you get them right from the manufacturer or from the brand, they're $3.99, and if you click on the link, it'll say coming spring of 2020. So they're going to bring more in, and we'll probably sell out again. The bezel action is just superb, clean, very nice sounding. There's zero play, everything lines up good. So at $3.99, I think you got a heck of a deal here. Seiko NH35 movement. So that's like a date movement. So there is a ghost wheel in there, but that's not a big deal. You pop it out, you wind it, set your time, and push it back in, screw it in, and be done with it, right? So it has really nicely done screw pins. So if to size this though, I did notice I think you're going to want the 1.2 mil size. I think that might work. Let me see. The 1.4 definitely won't work. I tried that. Yeah, so you want a 1.2 screwdriver bit for that. So, so that's something to keep in mind. Some of these finer, nicer bracelets, you're going to end up having to use a 1.0 or a 1.2 screwdriver. So make sure you have that equipment, or take it to a jeweler and have that done. But tiny, tiny screws, which is nice because they're nice and discreet, and I find that they're usually machined really nice. So let's see, I think I covered pretty much everything. Just for kicks, here it is next to an SKX. So you can see size-wise, this thing's going to wear really good on wrist. And at the price point, man, it's hard to beat. You're talking 400 used market. From what I'm noticing, they pretty much hold their value. So even if you picked up a used one and you're like 350 to 450 in there, you're probably going to be good. It's going to still be worth that much as long as you don't, you know, bang it all up and everything. So let me give you a Lume shot. You can see that cool blue BGW9 heavily applied is going to glow really good for you. So you're going to be not disappointed with that. I mean, even with the Lume, the plexi is fun to distort with. So, all right, guys, thanks for watching, and hopefully you can find Neptune. Try it out if you have a smaller wrist. I mean, it works all the way up to an 8-inch wrist. The bracelet does. So whatever size wrist you have, but certainly if you have a smaller wrist, check this one out. Thanks, guys.